Did you know that most billionaires today observe the identical pattern of creating large cash, and it's excited by a purpose, due to the fact John D. Rockefeller said once, the most stable component within the world is the capability to make cash, in the right shape. It smiles unshakable. Imagine you may earn any amount of money you may desire for. It can appear you may most effectively dream about that. However, nowadays I will destroy this fantasy, because, in case you move again to John Rockefeller and the way he made his billion greenbacks, you may find some modern money talents to help you get rich. Still don't accept as true with it? Then watch the video until the give up and spot for yourself. Welcome to the primary channel on finance. If you dream of getting rich, then subscribe right now. John Rockefeller is the world's first dollar billionaire. Rockefeller contributed $2,000 to the startup capital of his first business. Of those $1,200 he borrowed from his father. And in 1937, when Rockefeller died, his fortune became anticipated at $1.4 billion. In brand new realities, this would be $318 billion. For contrast, the wealth of the wealthiest guy in the world, Elon Musk, is estimated at only $219 billion. After reading the biography of John Rockefeller in extra detail, I realized that the name of the game of his financial achievement lies in just a few financial talents. And while you're giving this video a thumbs up, I will scream to you the essence of those capabilities. 1. Keep tune of your cash. At 7, Rockefeller earned his first money on a neighbor's farm, where he helped collect potatoes and raise rabbits. Then, he observed his mother's advice and made his first taxes in the ledger, where he put down the entirety to the ultimate cent. How a good deal, and for what cash he received, and the way he spent it. These analogs of the modern cash float statement are one of the equipment which are used to hold music of the enterprise's budget. He held until his loss of life, and John lived for 97 years. Rockefeller biographers like to mention that he grew up in a low-income owned family. Facts on how lots his father earned became no longer located. What we understand for sure is that the father of the Destiny billionaire turned into a traveling salesman, and he traveled lots around the United States of America. And whilst the head of the family became absent, Rockefeller's mom had to keep money. Subsequently, she evolved the dependency of counting every cent, which she instilled in her youngsters. When you consider that formative years, John saw how keeping tune of cash allows to multiply it. His dad and mom desired him to visit college, however Rockefeller selected an industrial university and accounting publications, and when after reading, he was given a job as an assistant accountant. His love for numbers was speedily noticed and appreciated by using his superiors. None of Rockefeller's colleagues liked to tinker with finished periods and projects, and his eyes might continually shine whilst he was given such tasks. Rockefeller's beginning revenue changed into 17 per month. From the second 1 month, it became already 25 greenbacks, and a year later he became a manager with a salary of 812 months. It smiles crucial to emphasize how strongly John became devoted to monetary literacy, and it became his economic information that became the inspiration for his future wealth. Consequently, I suggest you to show your attention to private financial schooling. 2. Do not be afraid to borrow. Entrepreneurs regard borrowed money as an evil. This is satisfactorily averted. Rockefeller's example shows they do not need to. If Rockefeller hadn't taken the quantity missing to enter the commercial enterprise from his father, most probably he might have labored for all his lifestyles for hire. Borrowed budget had been a regular partner of Rockefeller's enterprise. He preferred to sell stocks to the following investor, even when he had sufficient of his own budget. He additionally invested his very own cash, however also saved it as a reserve. Or even if there have been no buyers, he might take the financing of the next undertaking completely on himself. Rockefeller's first business became a small logistics company. In this first year, Rockefeller took on orders for $1.5 million. Money to guide them quickly have become scarce. Already owed plenty of money to his father, who gave him now not only a loan but a 10 in step with him. Rockefeller borrowed the missing quantities wherever he ought to. It wasn't easy, but he controlled to do it. It's far believed that most effective financially illiterate humans are not scared of loans. The distinction between them and Rockefeller is that he borrowed wisely. 3. Satisfy responsibilities. Rockefeller turned into continually cautious when it came to fulfilling his responsibilities, inclusive of monetary ones, no matter how hard it turned into. And within the first years of doing business, he had a number of demanding situations. He could constantly locate the proper quantity by means of the correct date. In his memoir, How I Made $500 Million, Rockefeller do not forget how his father got here to his office for some other loan fee on the most inopportune time, and insisted that he wished the cash proper now. Rockefeller himself reveals it difficult to mention whether or not it befell by means of chance or whether or not his father particularly selected the dates for educational motives. Anyway, each creditor together with his very own father acquired from him how an awful lot, and while it turned into purported to additional time, bankers could take Rockefeller at his phrase, getting out all of the contents in their safes for him. His popularity in economic subjects turned into the high-quality guarantee. So, you have to not forget to display your credit history and monetary reputation cautiously, for every selection has its fee. Rockefeller became able to borrow with none fear and frequently fulfilled his duties due to the fact he did no longer act randomly. Every choice became cautiously calculated in advance. Whilst he borrowed money, he continually took into consideration while and what kind of he could do to pay lower back, how he might go back it, and what sort of he could earn on borrowed finances. If he invested his personal cash, he calculated while and what sort of he could multiply it. Rockefeller invested thousands and thousands of dollars in his organizations. If the investment showed a boom in manufacturing or a reduction in expenses, which was transformed into an increase in income, Rockefeller did not pass. Rockefeller turned into the first within the United States to prevent hauling oil and timber barrels on horseback, and to begin transporting oil in tanks by means of rail, driving entire trains across the U.S.A. It changed into he who stopped saving at the safety of refineries when he assessed the damage resulting from regular fires, and the primary American refineries had been actually shed. The oil guy's concept: oil is a profitable enterprise, but soon it is going to be all pumped out, and therefore, they did no longer see the point in investing in the infrastructure. When Rockefeller started to export oil, he required gadgets to switch it from tanks to tankers quick. Rockefeller at his personal cost geared up the important railway stations with him. In the beginning, he simply gave them to the railroad free of charge. However, this similarly to the extent of transportation became a controversy for reducing the tariff, and allowed Rockefeller to move oil by means of rail, 3 instances less expensive than his competition. Rockefeller additionally owned numerous iron mines. When he realized it became extra profitable to move ore to blast furnaces and ports on ships than on trains, he built his personal fleet from scratch. Rockefeller's companions taken into consideration his improvements too risky and did not need to spend money on them. In such cases, he stated, "Okay, I will invest the cash by myself, however all of the earnings may be mine too." After that, the companions straight away have become accommodating. Absolutely everyone knew that due to the fact that Rockefeller became ready to make investments along, there might virtually be earnings. 5. The concept of wealth. There are truths within the international of finance which have lengthy gone gold and are assured to make a lot of people rich. That is precisely what John Rockefeller's money abilities are about. Their simplicity and accessibility may scare away most of you. However, folks that discover the power in themselves and can properly control those will gain their personal economic dreams in no time. It is the main channel on finance. Subscribe and get rich.